Webheads, am I feeling any buyer's remorse after reading some of the books that we're going to be talking about today? Well, you'll soon find out in this week's episode of After the Poll. Hey, all my webheads out there, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0, and fans, I am your host, Mike Spider Slayer, always helping you make decisions on what comic books to buy, and today, guys, I'm bringing you another exciting episode of After the Poll. That's right, fans, I went to the comic shop, I bought all those comic books, and now I'm picking 5 books to discuss with all of you, whether they're good or bad. These are the books that I read so far, all right? So let's go ahead and let's get started. So the books that we're going to be discussing today is Future State Dark Detective. This is issue 3. The next book we'll be discussing today is The Amazing Spider-Man. This is issue 59. Then we'll be talking about a King in Black tie-in. This is Daredevil. This is issue 27. Then we'll be talking about the very underestimated book of Taskmaster. This is issue 3. We're going to be also talking about Radiant Black, issue 1, the new release from Image Comics. And then, guys, that's not it. I have a mystery book that we're going to be talking about as well. So webheads, before we actually get started, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to hit that bell so you don't miss any content from me. So here we go, guys. We're going to be talking about Dark Detective. This is issue 3. This one is written by Tamaki and Dan Mora does the artwork. As usual in this book, the artwork is absolutely outstanding. I love the colors in this book. I love the way Batman looks. And just the artwork in this book alone basically just sells the book. And I can't wait until Detective Comics actually comes out just so I can look at this work every single time it comes out. Now, there's 2 stories in this book. There's obviously the Dark Detective Part 3, and then there's the Grifters story Part 2. What did I think about this particular issue when it came to the Dark Detective? I thought it was okay. I didn't think this one blew my mind away. I thought issue 2 was much better as that one tackled kind of the origin story of Bruce Wayne, of like how he survived his death. And in this issue, we get to see more investigation from Bruce on how these particular drones are patrolling the city and how they can find out all this information. There's this investigation going on with this CEO, and the magistrate is obviously behind everything. This book, again, was okay. We get to see the crazy father again that's always hearing things and whatnot, and then we get to see the daughter as well kind of interact with Bruce in this book too. We also get to see a little bit of Tim Fox in here confront Bruce Wayne, and it felt a little bit of an awkward situation as those two came together in the book. It was just like, oh, I see you and you see me, and it's just like they kind of confront each other real quick and then they just leave. I do like how Batman in this series is actually a stripped down Bruce Wayne. Like I said, he's just operating on very minimal tech. His Bat computer in this issue, you get to see what he's working on, again, is very minimal. It might be like a super souped up desktop computer basically was what he's working off of, and I thought that was kind of cool. But I just felt that this issue was a little bit of a lackluster for me. It wasn't bad, it just didn't equal up to issue 2. So we'll see how it concludes in issue 4. All right, webhead, so the next book we're going to be talking about today is The Amazing Spider-Man issue 59. Should you pick this one up or should you pass this one up? Well, let me just tell you, I think a lot of Spider-Man fans are going to be disappointed. And I think overall, I think Spider-Man fans are disappointed with the series right now. We spent a long time trying to build up Kindred and who he was and how this battle was going to turn out. And what happened in the end, he's just basically put on ice. Just now, so we can talk about Mr. Negative. My gosh, like, come on, right? I'm not a fan of Mr. Negative. You guys all know that if you watch my channel for a while. And now we're still talking about Norman Osborn, how those sins that were casted away from Sin Eater has not returned to him. So now he's trying to redeem himself, trying to do the right thing, even though people won't forgive him. He's trying to go to Liz Allen to tell him about Harry. He's also trying to build his relationship back up with Normie, and it's just there. It's just like a filler between the next story arc, really. Okay, so when it comes to the Amazing Spider-Man, we have Marcelo Ferreira, who does the artwork in this book, and honestly, it's not horrible art at all. It's just not my favorite artwork. You know, we're supposed to have Gleason on this book. He's not on this book, and now we've been having Bagley on this artwork as well, and basically he's not on here either. This is not a bad picture, but again, it's just not my favorite artwork in here. So basically in this issue, we spend a lot of time talking about who Martin Lee is and how he became Mr. Negative and how Aunt May's trying to save him, but inevitably it's going to happen. He's going to become Mr. Negative again, and he does. And then obviously at the end, who makes their appearance? Well, Mayor Fisk does. Right when Spider-Man was gonna, have him be captured by the police because it's the right thing to do, Mayor Fisk comes. He's like, I'm the mayor. He's like, I got the police here. This is what you wanted, Spider-Man. And obviously, there's something more behind this story. And this particular story is leading up to the next story arc. Now, way back when, right before this whole Kindred storyline happens with Last Remains and all that stuff, we were talking about that old thing like the Tablet of Time or whatnot. Yeah, Kingpin is still after this tablet. Well, just to let you know, there's more than one tablet. There's 2 tablets. So Mayor Fisk did a deal with Mr. Negative. He's like, I'll rescue you as long as you give me your piece of this tablet that you particularly have. So he's like, okay. We wind up getting this tablet, and then at the end of the book, he's like, but you have to do one more thing for me. He's like, you have to see if you can find the other piece. It's been very challenging to get. And he's like, but if you do this, you'll get rewarded, and there's a lot of other people out there looking for you as well, or looking for it as well. And so he makes this deal with Mr. Negative. They're going to be searching for this tablet, and now we're even veering more away from Kindred. So yeah, that's basically the storyline right now when it comes to the Amazing Spider-Man. What do you guys think of Amazing Spider-Man? It's talked about a lot, right? We had Dan Slott. People were unhappy with Dan Slott, but Dan Slott did do different things. Nick Spencer in the beginning, I thought, was doing a really good job at bringing the supporting cast back, but then we were so focused on Kindred, the book got darker and darker. We forgot about the supporting cast, and now we get Kindred, and right away he's taken away, and we're just dealing back with the tablet at a time. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's a big stall, and then eventually we're going to get this new suit. This was not my favorite book, but I'm a Spider-Man fan. I see it through the thick and the thin. I'm never going to drop the book. We'll see what happens with this tablet of time situation. And yeah, that's how I feel about that one. So for me, if you're not a huge Spider-Man fan and you're not dedicated to it like I am, I say pass it up. Don't pick this one up, guys. This one is just a miss for me. Okay, so the next book we're going to be talking about is a little bit more positive, which is good. And this is King in Black, Daredevil, issue 27. Issue 26 was absolutely outstanding, as you get to see Noel's Dragon kind of take over Hell's Kitchen. You get to see all these particular characters that are in this issue get taken over by Noel, right? And that was really creepy. Giacchetto's artwork is absolutely gorgeous in this series overall, but in this particular book, in this story arc that has to do with Noel, it's really good. The symbiotic creatures look creepy, like they show their teeth, and it's just creepy dialogue as well. And Daredevil becomes nullified in here as well, as he has like over exaggerated horns and whatnot. So this is a really good looking book. I love looking at this one. So what was this story about? Well, in this one, we get to see the continuation of Noel having his influence against the characters in Daredevil's world, right? So you see Daredevil, he actually winds up getting taken over by Null, but he's so strong that he's trying to cast away Null. He's trying to fight his influences on him. And Null constantly says in this entire issue, he's like, it's getting overwhelmed. It's hard to fight me. You're not going to be able to fight me for long. And that was really interesting. You really get to see how strong of a character Matt Murdock is, right? And then at the same time, we wind up seeing Typhoid Mary being possessed by Null as well, as she kind of makes a deal with Null and says, I'll kill everybody, and then if you give me the power to kill them, I'll join you. And so that was kind of neat as well. And then obviously you get to see Elektra in this book, who is Daredevil as of right now. It's posing as Daredevil, which looks awesome in the Daredevil costume. And she's always trying to have that moral compass of what Matt would do in the position. But by the time we wound up getting to the end of the issue, she's just like, okay, I need to be Elektra. I need to be who I am. I'll do the best that I can, but I have to be the person who I am. And the battle between her and Typhoid Mary was actually really good in this issue. And yeah, it was just a lot of fun. This is a fantastic book. By the time you wind up getting to the end of this book, you wind up seeing how Daredevil actually stops Null's influence on him. He actually goes to the prison that he's in, and he goes into the chamber where the electric chair is, and he actually winds up electrocuting himself in the electric chair, which I thought was so cool, man. I'm just like, oh yeah, that's so awesome. So you wind up getting to see that in this book. So yeah, and so one of the inmates or somebody helped him do it so he can be free of the possession of Null, because he realizes that he's a good person and he's trying to do the right thing, and he is not that guilty criminal. So yeah, I thought that was awesome. Daredevil issue 27 is definitely worth the buy. Definitely pick that book up. All right, guys, so the next book we're going to be talking about is Taskmaster issue 3. This series has been absolutely phenomenal. However, I just don't know if anything can live up to issue 2, where Taskmaster had to do battle against Hyperion and he took him out some way, somehow. So what does issue 3 have to offer? Okay, well, first off, let's talk about the artwork, as we always do in the beginning of the issue. The artwork when it comes to Taskmaster is actually always really good. It's a lot of fun. It's always bright, colorful artwork in there. The paneling is fine. Taskmaster always looks good. I think what makes this book a standout, though, is always the narration of Taskmaster. I think he's just awesome, and the way he thinks and the way he analyzes other people that he's doing battle against, I think is absolutely beautiful. In this book, you wind up seeing him go against battle against White Fox, which is actually Amy Hahn, which is the director of this organization that she actually works for. One of the best things that happens in this book is how he has seen all these other superheroes do these particular moves that White Fox throws at him. Okay, so he goes, that punch I saw one time, and then the next one he goes, that kick Iron Fist uses, and then there's another one where he goes, that throw that Cap used to toss me out a window out of. So like, he knows all these things that are being used, and he goes, too bad I don't have like superpower names or whatever to use for these particular moves, which is actually a lot of fun. Now, what's really fun about this book is that he uses this reject Pym particle in the beginning of the issue, and he winds up hiding in like air vents to spy on what's going on in the issue, and the Pym particle actually like fails on him, and so he has to get out of the air vent before he actually gets really big and he gets stuck in the air vent, which is actually a lot of fun. So Amy Hahn is actually the White Fox in this book. She's the director of this division, and when they're doing battle, we wind up seeing Black Widow make her appearance in this issue and catches up with Taskmaster. And for whatever reason, Tony Masters, aka Taskmaster, is scared to death of Black Widow, and you're kind of like wondering, okay, well, why is he so scared if he's been so good at taking on some high-profile heroes? Why is he so scared of Black Widow, right? It's just, I guess, her and him have this history with each other, and he's just afraid. And so he uses this particular device that he injected into other people in the beginning of the issue to kind of take out Black Widow. And he's, thinking about, man, should I do it? Should I kill Black Widow? And actually, at the end of the issue, he doesn't do it. He just leaves a message and he says, I didn't kill Maria Hill, and just walks off. So this is another person off his list that he was supposed to take out, and now he moves on to the next task. So him and Nick Fury are working together quite well to try to take out these people. And yeah, this book is a lot of fun. I say definitely pick this one up. You're not going to be disappointed with it. It's a great series. Again, not as solid as issue 2, but it is really, really good. So check this one out, guys. Okay, Webhead, so the next book we're going to be talking about has received a lot of buzz, and I think a lot of people picked this one up, and I wanted to give my opinion on this book. This one is Radiant Black. This is issue 1. Now, let me just tell you, this book exceeded all expectations from me. This book lived up to the hype, and let's just show off the artwork in this book right from the start. Let's show you off on how our character transforms into Radiant Black to begin with. It looks very good. I think the facial expressions look very good in this book as well. Simple layouts, nothing wrong with that, but everything is just very bright, very vibrant, and it makes you really want to look at the book and appreciate everything that's going on in this particular issue. So what is this story about? Well, let's go into it, okay? So we have a struggling writer. His name is Nathan Burnett, okay? And he is forced to move back at home. He's in some severe debt. He moved to California. He wanted to be this big-time writer. He was telling everybody lies that he's on verge of this deal. None of that actually happened. And now he's forced to move back at home, back to Lockport, Illinois. That's where he winds up living. He comes back to his parents, and he's real embarrassed about the whole situation, and he winds up hanging out with his friend Marshall one night. They go out drinking. He's trying to tell him, the story, and, they're just friends. They've been friends since high school and whatnot. They come across a power. It's attracted to Nathan, okay? It looks like this black hole, and the next thing you wind up seeing is that Nathan absorbs this power and he becomes this being. We don't have a name yet. Obviously, I don't know if it's going to be called Radiant Black, but I'm assuming so. And he's learning to deal with these powers. There's great humor in this book, which is awesome. They come face to face with these cops. The cops are like threatening to arrest them, and it seems like his powers work on thought process. So whatever he wants to do by thought, he can do it. So if he wants to lift a train, he can lift a train. If he wants his little helmet off, which is a funny scene in this book, he can think it off. Okay. And so what this book brought, though, that made it so interesting was great character development from the start. It didn't overwhelm you with a lot of characters. It was really about Nathan and his friend Marshall, how they were great friends, and how this book is, and how this character has struggled through life. And so what it meant is that I think why you like it is because you can relate. Life is not easy. And it kind of goes back to how Spiderman was, right? It fits in that genre of book, and it has this Power Ranger feel to it, or the superhero feel to it, and it's just a lot of fun. By the time you wind up getting to the end of this book, though, we see a possible villain who also absorbed something, the same symbol, and he's a red version of Radiant Black, so maybe we call him Radiant Red, but instead of using his powers for possible good, he's using his powers for possible evil. So that could be the antagonist of the book, or maybe we'll get even more versions of this character, and they become like a whole bunch of like group of people that do good in the world, right? So I don't know. But again, it was a very relatable character. People can relate to this guy on how he's a struggling person trying to work and trying to make money, and just things haven't gone right for him. And then all of a sudden he gets these powers, which I think is really a lot of fun. So I think you're going to like this book when you read it. If you read the letters page in the back, well, Kyle Higgins was a huge Power Ranger fan, and how he actually got made fun of when Power Rangers wasn't popular when he was in the 4th grade, and how he had to hide his love for that. It was kind of very sad, you know? So it's just like, and now look at him, he's a comic book writer, and he gets to show all those people, like, look, I get to do what I love, you know? It's kind of sad how when we were younger and these things were actually frowned upon, you were made fun of, considered a nerd just for something that you liked, you know? He said, people are assholes, kids are assholes. It was just awesome. So read that letters page when you actually read this book. Overall, this is a fantastic read. This is probably going to be one of my favorite books of the week, and I say pick this one up. All right, webheads, and now it's time for the mystery book. Which book are we going to talk about that I didn't mention at the beginning of the show, right? So the book that I'm going to be discussing today is Teen Titans Future State Issue 2. Now, Issue 1 was a little bit all over the place. There was a lot of holes in the story, right? How did Issue 2 fare? Well, we'll soon find out, right? All right, so here we go. When it comes to Teen Titans, the artwork is actually really good in this particular book. I like it. I think the characters look good. I think the colors are really nice. There was a lot of action in this particular issue as well. And yeah, really good. Now, you get thrown off by the whole Wally situation. I know people are upset with the Flash and whatnot, but this story was good because it does something, it gives a little bit more meaning to Future State. This actually ties into the Shazam story, and it ties into the whole Future State Flash story as well. So I thought that was actually really cool and creative there that they did that, okay? So in this book, really, our Teen Titans, you find out they team up together and they have to do battle against the 4 Riders of the Apocalypse. So that's what you see in this issue. They're all being taken over. There's certain heroes that are being taken over, and it's done by war, pestilence, death, or famine. And obviously we know from the Flash story that famine, it took over Wally West. And you get to see that whole story happen. And they had to, the H-dial was actually hacked in order to stop all these creatures for taking over the world and actually winning. I thought it was actually really good. There were some good character moments in here, and this made Teen Titans worth talking about. And it actually makes you want to read the Teen Titans Academy book that is actually coming out as well. So at the end of the day, I say pick this book up. I actually really enjoyed it, and I think if you read issues 1 and 2 together, I think you'll get the whole story, you'll understand what's going on, and it will get you more interested in Teen Titans Academy. All right, webhead, so there it is. There's another episode of After the Poll for you. Now I want to know in the comments below which books you enjoyed this week. Is there anything that you want to recommend to me? And if you like this content, please hit that bell, subscribe to the channel, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I'll leave you more content right here to check out. And until next time, guys, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care. Bye.